We talked a couple days ago, and you brought up that old term, Operation Mockingbird.
Operation Mockingbird.
So we're talking about all the like fake media stuff and whatever, and that's an entire universe of like you've got everything from actual like faking of coverage or footage or whole events at times, or just blatant twisting of things, all the way to just like subtle coaxing of certain ideas, or we've
telling people what to put out in front, or what story leads, or what I mean. We've all seen those. Are you talking about the?
I was going to say where they show like 100 different news organizations,
saying
reading
literally
like line for line
thing.
the exact same shit,
and they're all supposed to be local news, independent. It's like,
so it's like, where does that originate from? Now there are like services out there for like radio and TV shows that are not creative and don't do any of their own work, that they can all just like access the like, here's a ready-made shit for this day.
Give me one of these Adreno gums.
Yeah, and what actually are? I just ate one. I had no idea what it was. For all I know, that's LSD. But no. So where does it all come from? And a lot of us like to believe. Well, we don't like to believe, but a lot of us have come to believe that there has to be some sort of like, center to this operation and this push to homogenize media and news coverage, right?
Yeah.
So Tom reminds me of this old Operation Mockingbird thing, which. Now, I had thought that the CIA had never. Now, this refers to what like some people who have retired from the CIA, journalists have claimed that this program exists. Okay, and it basically has to do with influencing media.
Yeah,
correct.
To push narratives that would.
Yes. So now it's
behoove the CIA's. Narrative that they have chosen.
Yeah, if you want to pull up the operation,
to sort of mold the.
Well, but this is where it gets confusing, right? Because what is the CIA? It's a hard thing to pin down. It grew out of the operation, or what was it? The Office of Strategic Services.
Yes, OSS.
Right, which I think kind of creep people out. And as you've seen with a lot of stuff, like what was the original United Nations called? It wasn't just called like the League of Nations or something? Or I can't remember, but whatever it was, it was disbanded, and then it's like 2 years later, hey, we have a totally new thing. It's called the United Nations. It's
None of the same people. We're not doing the same thing.
So this is kind of what you had with the CIA, and the CIA immediately split into however many other fucking...
the NSA, the fucking...
Well, so if you put... Yeah, I mean, we can go through some of this just so you can see how complicated it gets, This is the...
Yeah.
Not to be confused, as it says here, with Project Mockingbird, which was weirdly a Kennedy program to do some wiretapping on journalists. I mean, they all were fucking doing this shit. But Operation Mockingbird is an alleged large-scale program of the United States Central Intelligence Agency that began in the early years of the Cold War and attempted to manipulate domestic American news media organizations for propaganda purposes. According to author Deborah Davis, Operation Mockingbird recruited leading American journalists into a propaganda network and influenced the operations of front groups. CIA support of front groups was exposed when an April 1967 Ramparts article reported that the National Student Association received funding from the CIA.
Yeah, now also, it didn't receive funding, it was entirely funded.
I was going to say, if you click on the National Student Association, and we're using Wikipedia for this stuff because this is kind of, for something as murky as the CIA, it almost is ironically one of the best tools because it will kind of just show you what
has been confirmed.
What has been publicly confirmed. Yeah.
Do you want me to click on this? Yeah, let's click on National Students Association.
So it's Confederation of what is that?
Coincidentally, NSA.
Well, go back to the top real quick. Sorry. Right, yeah, I know. But the Confederation of College and University Student Governments that was in operation, blah, 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 1947 to 1978. Kind of doesn't really totally explain what it is, but so go down to funding by the Central Intelligence Agency. From the early 50s until 1967, the international program of the NSA and some of its domestic activities were underwritten by clandestine funding from the Central Intelligence Agency, as revealed by Ramparts magazine.
Now, Ramparts magazine was then murdered.
What they're going to... Yeah, right. Never to be heard from again.
The entire magazine was literally murdered.
People showed for...
committed suicide.
People showed up for work and the building just wasn't there anymore.
Just fucking down to the
a guy in a suit standing there like, what magazine?
Yeah, what... you
never
guys
mind.
affiliated with this pile of rubble?
Anyways, what they're going to go on to explain is this became... so there's a lot of these groups that they would get involved with, and they would become kind of like trendy things for college kids to join up on, but not many people.
Dude, I would join in.
Not many people ever like attended meetings or understood what the hell was going on or whatever the fuck. But these were basically what they're going to explain with when they would fund these student groups and stuff. Back in this era, it was generally, now you can make up your own mind about why, but it was kind of to push like the hippie and free love movement, and also they always had an edge towards like trying to encourage like student socialist and communist
Yeah,
groups and
I know
stuff.
it's an odd thing.
So
it
it's-
really is a weird thing. I've never understood. Well, I kind of do understand it, but
It's hard to picture that there would be any other reason other than internal destabilization of our society. You know?
yeah, I mean, I guess the argument goes that a communist society is much easier to control because all the power is concentrated in the hands of the state, and none of it is in the hands of the people. Which obviously any sort of totalitarian-minded person or group or agency they're going to lean towards that. They're like, you know what, and I do think that there's been a lot of things caught, sort of where a mic is hot and somebody doesn't, and the people in these agencies do seem to regard regular people as just cattle to be driven. You know what I mean? They do seem to have this weird disdain.
Can you blame them
for I mean,
look what the fuck is going on out there.
Yeah, that's
you
a
know
good
what I mean? Like,
that's a good point.
But like, anyways, this is just one example, and you can see how. So like, all of this stuff when the CIA is involved, it goes through this wing of that place and this blah blah, and it gets convoluted and obscured along the way, and it's very hard to keep track of everything. But so this is one example of some confirmed aspect of Operation Mockingbird. Apparently, let's go back to the
We're going to go back to Operation Mockingbird. Now
okay.
let's take a look at this. Operation Mockingbird is an alleged large.
We already did that.
Oh yeah. Ramparts article.
So, anyways, whatever. Then they had this church committee congressional investigation revealed agency connections with journalists and civic groups. Right, kind of glosses over that, but we all know, I mean, if you've ever looked into it, we know this has been pretty prevalent. In 1973, a document referred to as Family Jewels, very important, was published by the CIA containing a reference to Project Mockingbird, which was the name of an operation in 1963, wiretapping, blah, blah, blah. The document does not contain references to Operation Mockingbird. So, again, in typical kind of like weirdo CIA fashion, you never really fucking know. Did they just say that so that there was plausible deniability?
Of course.
You know what I mean? But yeah, anyways, okay. Let's keep going down. And where did I want to get to here? Whatever, I mean, I don't want to be doing this for 2 hours, but like, basically, they're going to go into, all kinds of shit that was done to even like to foment communism as early as the late 40s in Europe.
So published in 1976, the committee's report confirmed some earlier stories that charged the CIA had cultivated relationships with private institutions, including the press. Without identifying individuals by name, the church committee stated that it found 50 journalists who had official but secret relationships with the CIA. In 1977, Rolling Stone magazine article, The CIA and the Media, reported reporter Carl Bernstein expanded upon the church committee's report and wrote that more than 400 U.S. press members had secretly carried out assignments for the CIA, including the New York Times, publisher Arthur Hayes Sulzberger, columnist and political analyst Stuart Alsop. Okay, well, I don't know who any of these fucking people are. Yeah. But 400, so... Now, the idea when you bring this up nowadays, people say you're paranoid and that you're some sort of a conspiracy theorist. Why would it stop?
Right.
Why would, with the proliferation of news media and cable news being the way that they've gotten that as a 24-hour entertainment, source, why on earth would the CIA be like, you know what, now we don't really want a part of this?
Yeah, no, we don't have anything to do with what videos go viral. Or,
of course, they have a real interest in what the American people think is going on.
Now, see, at one time, it was like, when did you stop watching, back in the days of television, right?
Okay.
I want to say that I swore completely off TV maybe somewhere around 2008 or something like that, right? When people still watched regular TV. Now I would wager that nobody listening to this has 4 years put on broadcast television,
Yeah.
But, when everybody was still doing that, it really couldn't have been more obvious that that there was like a centralized effort being made to brainwash and to cultivate certain fucking viewpoints and societal memes
and shut down others
and
yeah,
to
of course
and to create this
and the question is
sort of narrow worldview.
But I don't understand though why anyone in the right mind would think that wouldn't happen.
Right, but so back then it was easy to spot. Now things are more complicated, I guess, is my point.
But
they're obviously still going to be doing it, but
sure.
it's maybe a little bit harder to view, because like when it just all came out of one little box and it was just flipped to different fucking stations, it was a lot easier to tell what was going on. I guess,
for sure.
But yeah, so I mean, when did the bad CIA stop and when did the good CIA start?
When did the intelligence community become man's best friend?
People that are in the know about this too. I mean, a lot of people have said over the years, look, the CIA is a rogue agency. It answers to no one, and nobody's really quite sure what has happened with them. I mean, there's a million examples over the years, things that have come out about, like, we all know they've participated in how many fucking coups, assassinations, elections. They're fucking trying to kill Fidel Castro for years with exploding cigars and shit. They do all kinds of goofy shit, but like, the assumption is supposed to be that they haven't turned those methods inward on us.
Yeah,
but like,
domestically.
Actually, you know what? That YouTube video about the CIA, if you want to pull up around 7 minutes and 24 seconds on that, this will kind of explain the way they operate. And if you just think about, and by the way, they have been caught.
7 minutes what?
7:24. They've been caught operating domestically, I mean, in one major way, like, just look up like CIA drug trafficking and all the stuff that came out in the 80s,
of course,
and all the people that were fucking
wasn't Fast and Furious, wasn't that a fucking CIA?
I think that was more FBI.
Was
I remember right? I thought
could be.
Yeah,
and that's a weird thing too. They don't really work together well.
Supposedly,
they don't like each other.
Yeah, right. I mean,
supposedly.
But don't forget, see, the way like, these are all official networks, right? There are other networks that exist outside of this, so they're like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Something like the Skull and Bone Society operates in this way of like, hey, you work for Nestle.
Yeah.
I'm this, you're that. We'll make some deals, because whatever. You got this network of people that it's like, it's not, Nestle's not the evil thing. That guy that belongs to this network of the other evil people is the problem. Whatever.
Well, like you were saying, and this is half, farce and whatever, but I mean, either of us approached to do some, you know what I mean, to get powerful off of being, treacherous to our fellow man. I don't know.
That's not my fault. I was originally good, and I was driven to evil.
But I'm saying, in an honest way, if somebody actually approached you, not you, but I'm saying, it's a hard temptation.
What's your number to like?
Yeah, of course, I mean, you're a piece of shit if you do it, but I get the temptation,
and here
I understand
too,
it.
like the CIA represents. You talk about the word power. Is it money? Is it influence? I mean, at the end of the day, when you start learning about the way they operate and what they're capable of, the gathering and use of information, this is power.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The ultimate power.
That's it. And so that could be intoxicating. I would think. To be part of that. But here's the this just kind of explains, like, if you look at what they're saying here and then you picture it turned inward, it's pretty terrifying.
All right, let's listen.
Central Intelligence Agency established by
the CIA was set up to collect intelligence and to analyze intelligence, to centralize intelligence.
That's William Colby, and I believe he was the director of the CIA in 1947 and 1975.
Wow.
He was the head dude. So, yeah, go ahead.
That's quite the bid.
To get it all together so it could be all looked at together in the best academic tradition.
Sure it was.
Also, however, it was set up in order to struggle at that subversive level with the subversive forces that we faced.
The CIA, from the very beginning, at least as early as 1951, has used the information that it has collected. And it has used the information in order to penetrate and to manipulate the institutions of power in whatever country it is operating in order to influence the course of events in those countries. And essentially this boils down to propping up those forces which are considered to be the friendly forces, and in penetrating, dividing, weakening, and ultimately destroying those forces which are considered to be the enemy forces.
Okay. So now we have this truly powerful agency that, by a lot of accounts, has kind of run away from itself and has no accountability.
Yes.
And we're all just supposed to trust it.
Sure.
And it's like, to a lot of people, there is this comforting factor of like, hey, those guys are taking care of the shit we don't even want to know about.
Which,
You
I
know,
mean, I suppose at one level that might be true. I'm sure it is at some level.
But what that
the
guy...
boogeyman are out there, but...
Yeah, right. Okay.
know.
I know there is that view, and I'm sure some of the people even working in the CIA are like, it's a means to an end, and it's better than whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But what that guy said about propping up who we view as like, you know...
the good guys.
A good guy, and taking out... It's like...
dividing.
Okay, you imagine that turned inward on American culture,
It
which I'm
seems
pretty
like
sure it
what's
has
happening.
been.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay,
Yeah, is that
so
not-
who's the bad guys? I have
Yeah.
a feeling it has to do with people in favor of individual sovereignty.
Yeah, and
you know?
rights for everyone,
Exactly.
and not having the government involved in every facet of our fucking lives. I think
Sure.
we're possibly now the bad guys.
But how does it work? Is the CIA,
I don't know, but-
so the CIA obviously is just documents and whatever. The people involved is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
if they belong to networks with motives that are detrimental to American freedom and sovereignty,
Yeah.
then we have created this fucking monster for them to operate from within. You know?
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
now, back in the day, the claim was that they were fighting communism because that there were these insidious.
yeah, but they're always. It doesn't. It's
That's
like,
what I was just going to say. But yeah, so the claim was that they were fighting against this slow creep of communism into the
That's
into
why
our
they're
society and
fucking with
shit.
Cuba, blah blah blah. Hey, we
Yes.
don't want Russia to have a fucking
Yes.
friend here. You know
Yes,
this,
all of this.
whatever. And
But it doesn't seem like it was exactly they didn't like communism. It seemed like they didn't like certain communist dictators.
that's the thing is it doesn't. They don't have. There's been there's countless examples of them propping up. I mean, shit, they were working with Al Qaeda at one point. You know,
Yeah,
what I mean?
100%.
But like,
Yeah.
in Eastern Europe, in South America, and Central America, they have worked alongside. I mean, the Sandinista,
That's
you know. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's all means to an end. Like they.
Yeah,
will,
we're gonna have to have Cheryl Milnes back on here to talk about all this because he was involved intimately in many.
Oh, somebody's
of those
calling
things.
her.
Oh,
There's
all
plenty.
right.
What I was going to say is, I was thinking about this exact point earlier. Like, a lot of their public justification has to do with stopping the spread of communism, but they will prop up socialist and communist groups all over the
Yeah.
country to achieve their.
And-
they've worked with the fucking mafia. They don't
for sure.
care. you
Yeah,
know?
but also, that National Students Association wasn't a lot of those groups that the CIA has infiltrated and bolstered.
ended up. Yeah,
They're all
socialist.
subversive, like sort of communist and
There was
socialist.
the student
groups.
democratic socialist groups in the '60s and whatever
Yeah.
were all tied back to the CIA and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, maybe okay. So
Okay.
hello, you are on the air with Tom and Vinny. What's up? Who's this? Hello. I don't know.
all right.
All right.
Try again if that was
Well,
you,
all right,
whoever you
all
are.
right.
I don't know. Did we not have that number saved?
Yeah, I don't know.
We have a lot of you identified.
Yeah. I'm gonna have way more now.
And documented.
Now that I'm in the fucking Illuminati.
Okay, here
pricks.
you got some. Is that just the same video that we were watching?
Yeah,
before?
yeah.
Italy
but I
faces
do
choice
have
of
something.
dictatorship or democracy. I mean, there were times in Italy where they were literally teaming. The CIA was teaming up with like Corsican crime families and shit because it's like this is the way to get shit done there, and they understand that. You
Yeah,
know,
they don't give a fuck
They
who
were
they work
working with
with.
the mafia in Cuba because the mafia knew how to get back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, it's like whatever. All right,
100%. Hello, you are on with Tom and Vinny. What's up?
Oh, yes, this is Agent 0129 calling in from the...
We're actually,
local
all right, dude.
CIA
No.
bureau.
Yes, we're talking about something right now.
Yeah.
Okay, just hang up. It's fine. Anyways, yeah. So they don't have any standards for who they.
No. You know what? This is funny. This wasn't Italian. It wasn't supposed to be Italian.
What?
But I do have an odd video that I had come across. This was back, I want to say, in the 50s. Now, tell me if this rings, if there's any sort of parallels to this.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is only a 30-second clip here, but it sounds a lot like, well, here.
In 1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable buildups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind.
And there you have it.
And there we have
the crazy
2022.
the crazy rantings of a man clearly swept away in the hysteria of McCarthyism.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that guy was nuts. That
Yeah.
made no sense. We've seen none of that.
No, it's never happened, and it's never going to happen. Now, you shut up, because if you don't agree with me, you're a racist and you're a homophobe.
Better than being a fascist.
Yeah, everyone's a fascist. So it's funny because those techniques. That's the only reason I took note of that video. It's just like, this is the exact.
It's the exact
techniques that are being used by the people that are like,
I know,
communism. It's like,
and at one point, in one way, it seems like it's something that's come to fruition, but another part of me just knows that it's also there's this aspect of people just don't change that much. This shit is just it's
just a recurring
cyclical.
It's just season 9 of the same bullshit. They're just kind of reusing the same tropes.
Season 9,
everyone's gotten a little older, and it's not as silly anymore, and it's not cute.
Let's argue about stuff we have zero control over and never will. Basically, yeah.
This is, but I thought that was odd. But so Project Operation Mockingbird, clearly a real thing. In case anybody is ever doubting that again, the CIA definitely infiltrated the media in the U.S. and probably all over the world. And
well, definitely. I mean, there's been plenty of confirmed cases. I wish I could remember the details of. There was some Eastern European stuff where they 100% funded publications and pro socialist and communist stuff all over the place. And
100%.
It seems like a lot of their function, a lot of times, is like what a lot of politics is really about is selling weapons.
No, that's all. That's
let's create a situation where we can have to go there. Like we'll get there ahead of time. We won't really be there, but we'll make sure that the rest of you get to come and fucking secure democracy.
We'll have to be the one. Well, again,
but look how they fucking start. I mean, they were getting Al Qaeda off the ground to fight basically fighting a proxy war with Russia and Afghanistan at one point,
and
then look what happens. That becomes the justification for
going into Iraq.
How many weapon sales? But look at it as just weapon sales. That's what's important to them. So
I mean, defense contractors really have the upper hand in this timeline.
I don't know what dimension you're from, but no. So it's like the more you read about it, that ends up being a large part of their existence. The CIA is just to drive weapon sales. It's really what a lot of it comes down to. Anyways, whatever.
But the other thing is I don't remember where. Yeah, just keep saying that.
You say that. I got to go to the bathroom.
No, what's that from? The quote, or it's like the outline of authoritarianism. It's like create a problem, put yourself as the solution of the problem.
Problem, reaction, solution.
Yeah, like where is that from though? Yeah, it's that, but it's like where is that?
Hitler.
Yeah, maybe.
It's one of those things Hitler came up with.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, they could talk about.
I don't trust either party or any party of the government. Me neither, Rosie. Tony, that video was just stupid upon stupid. Which one was? I don't know what you're talking about. Where in tarnation is Ling tonight, man? Andrew Critchlow, we broke the news earlier that whoever has been calling in recently as Ling, as our beloved contributor here at Radioville, Ling
was obviously an imposter. Yeah.
The real Ling is a British woman of Chinese descent.
And this is something that I had suspected.
Yeah, this is why
I had a hard time believing that the real Ling had this much time on their hands to just sit around listening to us and fucking come up with shit to say.
I know we're trying to add some levity, but this is a very concerning story to us.
And we'll keep you abridged as long as Operation Mockingbird allows.
Yes.
We'll have to talk to our handlers
until we're told what we're supposed to do next.
But so is that it? I mean, do we do it?
Well, I mean, the CIA is just basic. So my question would be if it's already been shown over and over and over how they have their fucking tendrils in every aspect of our life and society. They're influencing everything. And since, the 50s, the 60s, why would anyone think that they have gotten A, more altruistic for some reason, or B, worse at it?
Or less capable?
Yeah, of course everything gets more and more perfected. We looked at the fucking sham news bullshit from 20 years ago. It looks like a goddamn SNL skit at this point.
Right.
Because they've gotten so much, everything gets polished.
Yeah.
So whatever the fucking CIA is doing now, rest assured, it is fucking just as, if not more nefarious.
Skillful.
Yes,
Deceptive.
but yes, keep going.
No,
yeah,
good.
I wish I had some background music.
Coercive. Downright underhanded, dirty, yellow belly CIA.
Yeah, but no, of course, and also, of course, they're going to be more influential. They don't fucking get less. They don't get less power.
Yeah.
You know what's a funny thing? Speaking of Operation
what was our
Mockingbird,
point of this whole thing? Was basically
the media is not to be trusted.
Yeah, and to show people that like this shit that you think is loony, that like the fucking lone gunman on the X-Files would talk about. It's
exactly.
very real stuff.
It's extremely
In
real,
fact,
and it's obvious, and it's in your face.
their control
And just
over the
look at
media
it.
goes so far that there's many obvious murders that they claim were suicides or
Yeah.
whatever. Andrew Breitbart has a fucking heart attack on his way to make some
Testify, yeah.
giant revelation about the Obama family that he was going that he had been
That's weird.
he had been hyping for weeks.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, he's walking down the street, 45 years old, in perfect health, and just has a heart attack. Okay, maybe, I don't know, but that enough of those things start adding up. And again, in that case, people were like, hey, they have this. If you go back to that thing we're watching, if you guys look this up, this is an interesting thing to watch. I think it's just called History of the CIA on YouTube. But if you go to the very beginning of that, they're going to show. Now, at the time, everybody was like, "You're fucking crazy." They don't have a tiny, little device that shoots little tiny poison darts into people, or like little tiny slivers of ice into their heart to make them have a heart
Sure.
attack. They don't have that.
No,
but like,
what are you, insane?
You go back far enough, and there was a national discussion, and people were paying attention. Like, look at these old congressional hearings. These clips of when they're questioning the CIA are fucking amazing. This is how this thing starts.
Yeah,
out.
let's take a listen.
You just see, yeah.
We have indeed, for killing people.
Hold on.
That was it. No, well, yeah.
Have you brought with you some of those devices which would have enabled the CIA to use this poison for? We have indeed, for killing people.
The round thing at the top is obviously the sight. It works by electricity. There's a battery in the handle, and it fires a small dart.
And the dart itself, when it strikes the target, does the target know that he's been hit and about to die?
A special one was developed which potentially would be able to enter the target without perception.
Okay, so
You're a fucking monster.
this is in the 60s, and it's like,
what do they have now? Come on.
By the way, that's a thing you just don't see that much anymore.
No.
Is like, hey, the Congress is going to bring out the director of the CIA and
he's gonna
question him on their new
explain poison
technology.
killing.
Like,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, they basically just made a poison dart. But still, it's these old hearings are fucking really interesting the way it used to run. It took a long time for them to get that stronghold where it was just accepted and people were like, holy shit, don't fuck with them. Because like for a while the public
It looked
felt
like
like
there was
they should
some
have
sort of oversight.
some oversight.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Is
really,
the barbecue still happening on the weekend of the 15th? Yeah. I'll just say yes. Go.
sure. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys do it. Oh. Where's it at?
Yeah. Where you tell us where it is, and we'll be there with bells on.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. We'll talk about it after the show. I don't know.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. So no, the point of this is we looked at some faking reporters.
Yeah,
we
whatever.
saw some. Now we're looking at the CIA, and it's being intertwined with the media in this country. And
and the point is, being like, too, when they can't control someone, they kill them. And
Yes.
they do it with a bunch of weird little shit.
and then the media doesn't report on it if it's not
Yeah.
something that, should be out in the public eye, according to the people that fucking killed them. It's like, okay, this is a great system we have here. Do you remember there was the one guy, he was like the first guard that was at the Oklahoma City bombing. Do you remember this guy's death? Oh my
What
God.
what
if you
happened?
don't- Oh my God.
I'll probably remember when you say it, but yeah.
It was reported as a suicide, but he was found with he had crawled 50 feet after being stabbed 80 times in the back, shot, and then he was hung over a fence and shot in the head.
Did he have witness testimony?
That he saw somebody going in there and ignite, or like he saw people planting shit beforehand or something. It was here, I could bring it up, but yeah, the guy, it was insane.
Here, I'll see if I can look it up. real quick.
Just say guard suicide, Oklahoma City bombing. It was insane.
Oops. Sorry.
Thank you at the beginning putting poison. Huh?
What?
Damn it, Tony.
That didn't make sense. Terrence Yeeke, is that it? Was a
Terrence
sergeant at the
Yeeke.
Oklahoma City Police Department who was one of the first responders, or no?
I believe.
Okay, that sounds right. Hold on, let's see what this says.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up. But yeah, Oklahoma City bombing, another example of something that
people
if you actually take a good look at it, you're not gonna believe that it was one fucking dude. You know what I mean?
And everyone that fucking knew anything at that time was like, that's not how fertilizer works.
Terrence Yeeke, let's see, 3 days before he was meant to receive the honors, I think, for being a first responder, he apparently committed suicide in 1996. Yeeke was discovered dead in a field near his hometown, El Reno.
Is this the Wikipedia?
Yeah. Yeeke's death was ruled suicide. No suicide note was found. A friend, fellow officer Jim Ramsey, speculated that he might have been driven by guilt over the bombing rescue for his inability to save more people and his despondency over a troubled family life. He had recently been barred from seeing his 2 young daughters, whatever. Were you going to... Okay, what do you have on it?
Okay.
So that's the official line.
Yeah, that's the official report was a suicide. Now,
But
let's
there's-
just take a look.
There's a lot of people out there that killed themselves by shooting themselves in the head twice.
Yeah.
While
of course.
handcuffed. You know?
Now, here we
Like-
go. This is a dude that actually... okay, this is Craig Roberts. Now, this... You go ahead and be like, oh, who's this quack? But you can look, this is all over the place, and it was always all over the place. And the official autopsy, you can find it. So this guy is just going to go into, okay, the official report said suicide, and anyone who believes an ANFO bomb destroyed Murrah's, the other surrounding buildings, will believe this. According to the report, Terry slashed himself 11 times on both forearms before cutting his own throat twice near the jugular vein. Then, apparently seeking even a more private place to die, he crawled another mile of rough terrain away from his car and climbed a fence before shooting himself in the head with a small caliber revolver. What appeared to be rope burns on his neck, handcuff bruises to his wrists, and muddy grass embedded in his slash wounds strongly indicated that he had some help in traversing his final distance. Now, if you bring this up in most circles, if anyone that has heard this before, they're like, oh, this shit again. Dude, it was the fucking Timothy McVeigh. We already know what happened. It's like, okay.
And you could, but
Cool.
see, you start breaking things down and thinking about it logically. If there is a motive to kill someone because he has testimony that's inconvenient, right? And I think that's what was going on
That
here, right?
seems,
And so
unless it was a jilted lover, because a lot of...
but no, who has the power to control an investigation like that? You know what
Yes,
I mean?
that's
Who
what-
has the
well,
power
that's
to
what
make
we're
sure
talking
the
about.
investigation doesn't happen?
Yeah,
You
the
know?
CIA.
Right.
The FBI, possibly. Probably the FBI in this
There's probably
case,
a lot
to
of
be
people,
honest.
but
yeah,
yeah.
the NSA. But let's just say, don't believe anything and live in constant fear and doubt.
Right. But don't worry.
Like we do. It's fun. It's great.
Yeah,
We're super even keeled.
we're joining the Illuminati so we can just kinda
I'm already
handle it.
in, dude.
Oh,
I
that's
don't,
right,
dude.
yeah.
This is my last episode, guys.
He's gonna be on fucking Theo Vaughn next week.
yeah. My name's Bob now. Apparently,
Straight to
wherever
Joe Rogan, yeah.
Wherever my white privilege card is, I'm Bob now. I'm no longer Tomas. I'm Bob, baby.
Okay, what is this?
I don't know.
This better not be a character. I'm sorry. I was starting to look up other shit too.
Yeah.
There's
Hello,
tons
you're
of
on
these.
with Tom and Vinny. What's up?
Hello, Hello, Tom and Vinny. Hello, America. It's Ring.
Oh, my God. We have him here now, folks. The imposter. This is not Ling. Who is this?
No, this really Ring.
Oh,
It is not. It is not British woman.
No, Ling is a British Chinese expat who owns an auto dealership.
Okay, this really Ring. Maybe she call in later. Maybe she call in, work on her accent later. I just want to say, Tom, congratulations on the Illuminati.
Oh, well, thank you, whoever the fuck this is. We're going to get to the bottom of this, and whoever you are, you're going to get caught. That is outrageous and outlandish.
David Christopher Kelly was a Welsh scientist and authority on biological warfare, had an off-the-record conversation with Andrew Gilligan, a BBC journalist. During their discussion, they talked about the 2002 dossier of Iraqi weapons of mass destruction, which stated that some of Iraq's chemical and biological weapons were deployable within 45 minutes. When Gilligan reported this on BBC Radio, he stated that the 45-minute claim was included in the insistence of Alistair Campbell, the Downing Street Director of Communications, something Kelly denied, blah, 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 a bunch of weird media shit. The government complained to the BBC about the claim, but they refused to recant on it. Political tumult between Downing Street and BBC, blah, blah, blah. Here's the important part. Okay, Kelly's name became known to the media, and he was called to appear on the 15th of July before the Parliamentary Intelligence and Security and Foreign Affairs Select Committee. So he's an expert on biological warfare that's going to blow the whole fucking thing. 2 days later, Kelly was found dead near his home. That was one where it was like they found a suspicious puncture mark on it.
Yeah, nothing was taken.
Right. Yeah. It's
he was
like,
just murdered for no reason.
Whatever.
In front of his home in a
I just thought of that one while you were talking to whoever the fuck.
There's countless fucking. Yeah, I mean, if we. All right, you know what, folks? We're almost
could do this
to
all
a
day.
break. Yeah, we could do this all day,
There's
and it's not fun. I mean, it's fun, but it's not fun. We got a lot of funny shit to
third hour will be whatever.
A
bunch of bullshit.
A lot of bullshit, a lot of nonsense.
Fucking dogs on meth or something. Whatever we do.
Yeah, seal milk, dogs on meth. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, like the post. By the way, that
post.
always helps out. Are you playing one of our clips for the break? Or?
I could do that.
Yeah,
I don't know why I
just tell me
said it like that.
what you want me to do, but yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, just put on anything. Who cares?
Sure.
But yeah, so whatever. What was I gonna say? Want to be back? Bunch of bullshit. I don't know.